as we know, there's a very important election coming up this year. Very important decisions to be made at the local and federal level. From the City Council to the Senate to the House of Representatives and all the way up to the President of the United States. We often hear some of our family and friends state that, oh, my vote just doesn't matter. Well, that's never been more incorrect than an election year like this one. Every checkbox on every ballot can and will impact you and your family's lives for the foreseeable future. From the people who determine what's done with our roads, our schools, the police chiefs, the judges, the mayors, and the governors, and yes, the leader of the free world. It's the responsibility of everyone of legal and voting age to do their part to make their voices heard. In an unprecedented election year, the pandemic has moved local and federal governments to make voting as accessible as possible during this tough time. So here's a rundown of some of the guidelines and practices that the public should be aware of to ensure that your vote is counted. So let's talk a little bit about voter registration. As an adult, you're automatically registered when you access any of the services at the Virginia DMV. You can be registered to vote as a young person in our public schools during the school day for students who are or will be 18 years of age on the election day. If you're voting before the election, this year there's no excuse needed to vote absentee. There also is no witness signature required this year when you're voting absentee. When you vote absentee, you have to apply by mail, email, or fax by October 23rd, 2020. Now, when you return your ballot, return it to a registrar or put it in a drop box at the Office of Elections or one of their satellite locations by 7 p.m. on November 3rd, 2020. Or return by mail postmarked on or before November 3rd, 2020, so that it's received by the registrar by noon on November 6th, 2020. Now, if you're mailing, consider mailing before November 3rd, 2020. If you're voting on Election Day, be sure to have a photo ID. But this year, photo ID is no longer required at the polls. Acceptable forms of ID will be your driver's license, but it will also be a utility bill, bank statement, pay stub, or any other government document that shows the voter's name and the address. Also, student IDs from any U.S., state, or territory. So there you have it, folks. Vote early or vote on Election Day, but whatever you do, make sure that you vote. The final tally for the election is actually going to take us several days this year. Instead of it being hours and we find out who's our new president in the morning, it's going to take some time due to the massive influx of mail-in ballots this year. So nonetheless, every vote will be counted and will count. So make sure your vote is among them. Before we wrap this segment up on voter awareness, we wanted to hear from you. We invited a few folks from the community to our remote location, and we'll hear from them right now in terms of who they're voting for and why.
This thing on? All right, well, look here. My name is Bill, and I can't vote for nobody that the dogs don't trust. What I mean when I say that? Well, the presidential dog is something that they didn't have for years and years. It's a tradition. Huh? GW, he had dogs and cats. Clinton, he had socks and a dog. The Obamas, they had Sonny and Bo. Who the president got now? I'll wait. Think about it. If he ain't got no dog, he ain't got my vote. Yeah, man, John Marley here. Who make one vote for? Make one vote for whoever put things back into the right order. See, Jah put things here for me and you. Then man take it away. Me say, whoever gonna decriminalize and legalize what Jah put here for me is gonna get me vote now. If a man don't understand that, then him don't need my vote. Yeah, man, respect.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road, back again. All is true.
Is this thing on? Well, look here, my name is Hattie Mae Johnson. And I ain't voting for nobody that can't get the bingo halls open back up. I ain't seen my girlfriends in 6 months. 6 months. It's ridiculous. And while you're at it, they talk about draining the swamp. Go ahead and finish draining. Get you some Drano and drain it. All right? Liquid plumber, Drano, whatever you got to do, drain it. That's all I got to say.
Well, that was interesting. Again, folks, be sure to vote. Make sure your vote is counted. Next up, when we come back from another commercial break, we'll have a special guest from the local diner to give us recommendations on dishes that can be made with leftover pumpkin this fall. We'll be right back.